Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Brother Sister Show, a family owned and operated podcast where two siblings keep in touch by talking about movies. This week, we're talking about Osmosis Jones, which is Anthony's pick. But before we get to that, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm chilling, getting ready for work. So that starts tomorrow.
Ooh, are you nervous?
A little, just because I'll be working. Like last summer, I worked with two other interns on a project.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had people to fall back on, but this time it's just me. So
Dang, solo?
right in solo. But other than that, I've just been chilling. Birthday's coming up a week from today.
The big 1-8.
days.
No, I'm kidding.
Double digits, finally. I don't know. It's happening.
I keep mentally skipping over it. Like, I'll tell Sebastian, like, oh, because we're going to San Antonio on the 29th.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, we're gonna go. I like mentioned something about it, and he's like, it's not like we're not going next weekend. It's the weekend after that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I keep doing that.
Yeah. I keep on forgetting too. But
It's weird to have a
we'll see.
birthday during. Oh, you're one of those that had two during a pandemic.
Yeah.
I guess this one's a little different though because you're vaxxed.
Vaxxed, waxed. Yeah, it'll be exciting. I don't know.
You
So
sound
I can
excited.
gamble now. Super. I'm thrilled.
Well,
well, I feel already like I'm getting old. A couple of weird things have happened.
okay.
Just with my brain, it's just been real fuzzy.
Mhm.
The weirdest thing is I was making breakfast the other day
Yeah.
and I make my eggs scrambled, so I just crack it,
Oh, you
put it in
crack
the
it
pan.
directly into the pan.
I put it on. I put it in the pan. So I cracked the first one into the pan, and then I get the second one, and I guess I was just on autopilot,
Mm-hmm.
and I cracked the second one straight into the trash can.
As you
Like
do.
just,
You knew it was bad.
I don't know. It was really weird. I felt like an alien who was intimidating what a human would do,
Intimidating.
or
Imitating.
imitating. Yeah,
Jesus,
there
are
you
you
go.
okay?
Something's happening. So that happened. That's 21 right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Almost
exactly what
21.
happens. And then you start making noise when you get up from a seat.
Yeah, the groan.
Yeah.
Or like the sigh of relief when you sit down.
Yes. It
That
gets more
that's like
intense every year where you're like, you like are crying.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Thank the Lord.
there you go.
That's it.
There's
Just
I.
throwing away good eggs. Just
Wild. I do shit like that where I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
well, that's all I got. I have nothing else.
Oh, well, I went to the movies.
Yeah, what'd you see?
Spiral.
The Jigsaw one, right?
Yeah, from the book of Saw. I thought
That
people were
seems.
joking when they said that, but that's legitimately the subtitle. Is Spiral from
Oh,
the book of Saw.
and are you sure you want to mention that on the podcast? I can
I
cut it
mean,
out if you want.
I don't know. I was talking to my therapist about this where I was like, I want to go to the movies because I can now, but it's like still feel the weird guilt thing. But also, I want to go. Part of me is like, I need to make it a good one. Do you hear that?
Right.
What are you doing? Yeah, part of me is like, I want to make it a good movie, right? But then when we got to the weekend, Sebastian and I were like, fuck it, let's just go. I just needed to go.
Let's go see Spiral.
Yeah, well, I just told him I don't care what it is. I know that I wanted to go with Sebastian, and I knew that I wanted to see a movie at the Draft House. Those are the only two
Oh, you
things
went to
that
the Draft
yeah,
House.
exactly. And I don't have the paper with me, but the experience itself, obviously amazing. It felt like no time had passed yet, all the time in the world. Like I think this is the longest I've ever been without going to a movie. Not to be dramatic or anything, but it's weird now. I don't know if you've ever even tried to do it, But we bought our tickets online, obviously, and they let you at the draft house because I mean, I'm assuming people are familiar. Ari, can you please stop? I'm assuming people are familiar, but hold up, I have to get him out of here.
You're good.
Come on, let's go. All right, I can keep that in. But I'm assuming people know that at the draft house you can buy food. But this time, or like I guess during this time, and they've kept it, but you can order the food beforehand. And so we ordered it
Ooh.
beforehand, and they said that they would just like send it out whenever we get there. And so we got there, and they had like I thought they just had a paper menu on there, but they had a menu, like two different kinds of menus, like the drink one and then the food one. And then they printed out like instructions for have your mask on at all times unless you're eating or drinking. And then they had my name on there. They said welcome Livia Trevino, and then they had my order. They had like our drinks that we had, like, and they had like I said, first and then the drinks, and then second popcorn, third, and then it had our meals. So they printed out basically
Dang.
all of our courses. And then when we got there, they were still come up to you. Like, you don't have to do that. I think it's just if you want to, but they came up to us and asked if we needed anything, and we were still able to. I think we put like Sebastian's card, so that if we did want to order something else, then we could just do it and we wouldn't have to worry about, paying or
Right.
whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was just a seamless experience.
That's awesome.
And it was just really cool that they went through and they put that paper on there so we knew. I told Sebastian, like, if somebody tried to take our seats, then I could literally say our seats, like, my name is on
That
the seat.
that's awesome.
So
They're
that
they're
was
stepping up
cool.
their game.
Yeah, I told him I think they're doing this for COVID purposes, but I hope that they keep it like that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But the only bad thing I think on their part is that I could see how much money we spent before we got there. And I even
Mm.
like we kind of went crazy because it was the first time, and so the bill was insane, and then so we took off some stuff. But then when we got there, we were
Ouch.
just like whatever, and we just ordered whatever we wanted.
It's first time in a year.
Yeah, we were like, let's treat ourselves. You know what, Sebastian? You can get that lemonade.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
2021.
And so and then we're going crazy. We're gonna go again today. But not to the
No
draft
way. What do
house.
you
We're gonna go
see?
to the Cinemark. We're gonna see some anime movie. I think it's for an anime called
Oh, Dragon
Demon
Slayer?
Slayer.
Oh, Demon Slayer.
Yeah, there's like a
Dragon Slayer.
movie that Sebastian
Yeah, I've
wanted to
heard a lot
see.
about it.
Yeah, so we're gonna go. The Cinemark too. So I bought it on my Cinemark app. This is not an ad, but oh god, I wish it was though. I wish they were paying me to say
Make
this.
it happen,
Cinemark.
Mr. Cinemark.
If they don't pay us, then just bleep it out. But anyway, so I bought the tickets, and then they also gave me the option to order stuff through the app, and they said if when that it would
Nice.
be there when we got there. But I told Sebastian,
That
like, no,
that
I want to buy it. I want to go to the stand and buy stuff.
uh yeah, the experience.
Yeah, I don't know, and I also don't know what I want, so it felt very overwhelming to be like
Right.
what knowing exactly what I wanted, especially because it's not going to be till 9. We're recording on a Sunday at 4. We still have 5 hours, so I'm not going to know what I want right
Right.
now.
I think I'm gonna wait until the Green Knight comes out.
Isn't that the summer?
I thought it was the 28th of May.
Oh,
I
okay.
could be very
I don't
wrong,
know.
but
I thought
I
that's a
think I'm
quiet
gonna wait.
place.
Oh,
Honestly,
that'd be
Anthony,
so
if I were
sad.
you,
Oh, July 30th. Oh, never mind. I
I
can't
was going
wait
to
that
say if I
long.
were you, just go. It felt so nice. It was so nice. Even
Dang.
if it was not that great of a movie. Anyways, it was a good cast, but I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see if you watch it and what you think about it.
I probably won't.
Oh, and also, what did I make you watch last time? And did you watch it?
Oh yeah, Monster in Law.
Oh, did you watch it?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
it was okay.
It's a fun
I mean,
movie.
it was like,
You know who's in it that I forgot about? I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. Adam
who?
Scott. I forgot he's in that
Oh
movie.
yeah, yeah. He's a roommate.
hmm
Yeah, he's funny in it. No comments. I don't know. It was just like
It's a good time.
a good time.
Wanda Sykes in it is very funny.
Yeah,
Very, very
yeah.
funny. I miss her.
When
Where
she
is she?
says like
What she needs to be in like more movies now, I feel like.
when they're in the kitchen and they're doing the peanut gravy thing,
Mhm.
and she like elbows her, and she's like, "You dislocated my
Oh,
vagina,"
yeah.
or something like that. That
I
made me
also like
laugh.
when she says she looks like a damn cockatoo. I think about that line constantly. Okay,
Yeah,
damn
it's pretty
cockatoo.
funny.
Yeah.
Just like that guy was just clueless
Oh
to
my
everything in
god.
that movie.
That
Just
guy's
another.
toxic. There's no way you don't know your mom's that insane.
That's
She's
hilarious.
she's gonna love you. No, you know she's not gonna fucking love her.
Who knows? After this weekend, you guys might become best friends.
Not even close. Yeah, wild. Also, did you ever see Tenet? Or are you still avoiding it?
Oh no, I need to watch it. I might watch that after this. I also got treat myself a little bit. I got the Criterion Collection edition of the Fantastic Mr. Fox. So it has like a bunch
What
of
is that?
special features.
I don't
It
have
came with a little
anything. I don't
booklet.
have anything Criterion Collection.
I've seen like they're the only ones I've seen are like the Blu-rays in Barnes and Nobles,
Mm,
and I've been wanting this one for a while because it has like the comic that's
that's cool.
in the what's it called in the movie.
Hmm.
That one, what's Ash has a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff. So I'm excited to watch that. I'm probably gonna do that and maybe Tenet after,
Well,
but
have a good time
I
with
will.
Tenet. God, I'm so excited to see what you think about it. I'm sure you're gonna like it. Annoyingly,
I probably might be disappointed though
I
because I like sound. I like hearing stuff.
I mean, maybe it's just me. Truly, I feel like he was gaslighting me for like indirectly because I just am. I'm one of those people that you can tell me something with all the enunciation and all the volume in the world, and I'm still like, huh? Especially if I'm not paying attention that much. And for
I'm
this
the same
movie,
way.
yeah. And so that's why I was like, I I wanted to say something to Sebastian, but I was like, I feel like it's just me. Like maybe I'm just not paying attention well enough. And so I feel
Right.
like Christopher Nolan was just gaslighting me the whole time. He was just like, yeah, I think you should be able to hear this. Like if everybody is able to
That's
hear this. What are you talking about? I also
just
still
imagining.
to this day, I mean, I fully paid attention to that movie, and if you asked me what happened in it, I could not fucking tell you. I have no idea.
Just just imagining the audio engineer working on it on his computer, and Nolan's just like arms crossed to the back of the room. A little quieter, please.
He's like, "Sir, I can't even. I work on this every day. I don't even know what they're saying."
As if he has like a gun to his head. Just
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
little quieter. I don't want to be able to. Have you seen that video of him describing how Memento the plot is
No.
on a chalkboard? He's like, so this is why I have to gaslight the shit out of my
Yeah,
audience.
exactly. He's like, I know I hired a sound engineer, but like fuck what they say. I just want to do what I want. You know what I bet happened? I bet the guy did it like perfectly. And he was like, okay, this is the finished touch. And I don't know how movies work, but I assume he just puts it on a flash drive. And then he's like, here you
Yeah,
go. And he has a
yeah, that's
courier just
exactly how
like
it works.
run it to um uh
Pony
the
Express.
studio, yeah, whatever studio fucking makes their shit. But anyways, I imagine he did it, and then he was like, okay, do you want to see a final cut of it? And Nolan's like, sure, but can you leave the room real quick? And then he leaves, and he comes back, and he's like, so what'd you think? And he's like, oh, I made a few changes, but you don't have to see them. And he's like, oh sir, I mean, I should. And he just takes out the thumb drive and he just runs.
That's hilarious.
That's exactly how I imagine it happened. Because no audio engineer in their right mind would ever
I'm excited.
greenlight that fucking movie. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand it. Maybe I'm too dumb. That's also a possibility. I don't know.
I'll let you know next week for sure. I'll watch it.
Okay.
By next week.
All right. That's it for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, that's it.
Unless you want
Well,
to cry about John
yeah.
Mulaney's divorce like everybody else is doing.
Oh
Have you seen that?
yeah,
That's weird. Why do
that's
people care?
yeah, and because he's with Olivia Munn now, and it's like
Yeah.
too fast. Let the man be. He's been through a lot. He's had a year on top of the pandemic. Let the man be.
Have you seen that lady that made that web? What a fucking
No,
psycho.
what web?
I can, I mean, I can find it and send it to you, but she like apparently she wanted to connect how they know each other or how they met or something. But
Oh,
she like made a web of like everybody it's fucking strange. It's really
so like
weird.
a family tree.
Kind of. Oh yeah. She basically did what we did, but she made it like how many the most amount of degrees that you could possibly find because it's insane this web that she made.
I thought. Nah, I don't want to get into it. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I was gonna make a joke, but it left my brain. All right, I'm done.
Let's cut to the break.
A policeman white blood cell, with the help of a cold pill, must stop a deadly virus from destroying the human they live in Osmosis Jones. That's a hilarious synopsis. Directed by Bob and Peter Farrelly. Written by Mark Hyman. Starring. Sorry, that's really childish. I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
I didn't even. I typed it out earlier. I hope that's his name.
Mark Hyman.
What if that's not? What if that's not his name? All right, starring Lawrence Fishburne, Chris Rock, and David Hyde Pierce.
You absolute child.
Sorry.
Osmosis Jones came out on August 10th, 2001. Other movies that came out that same day were American Pie 2, The Others, and Session 9. Critics gave it a 6.3 on IMDb, a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 57% on Metacritic. So obviously, by the numbers, you could tell that it was robbed. And let's just get into some kind of. Well, let's talk about what this movie made me think of, and it's just so funny that the entire movie is set in Bill Murray's body. It made me think if we each had a movie, Osmosis Jones style,
hmm
what illness or thing you've been through would you want to be captured? I'll go first. I have asthma. Okay. I have asthma. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it. I have asthma.
Chronic illness alert or reveal, not alert. Is that
Alert.
a chronic illness?
Um I think it can be chronic. I don't know the criteria for it
Yeah, me
becoming
neither.
chronic. Like maybe it is chronic. I don't know. I have it. So I'd love a movie to happen just of an asthma
What
attack
about your
from
first
like
one?
walking up. My first one would be good because you guys got all really upset at me. Let me preface that with a little background
Well,
because
you did
like
ruin our day.
why would my family be upset? Well, that's my family. Um, we were coming down. We were moving from Alaska to San Antonio, and we stopped in
Well,
Dallas.
we drove. I don't know if that's a big thing, but our we were
Oh, yeah, we
fucking crazy
drove.
and we drove from Anchorage, Alaska to San Antonio, Texas.
We stopped in Dallas, one of the last stops, and we went to Six
No, we.
Flags. And I don't know what it. Well, I don't know what. I don't really remember a whole lot. All I remember is being in the hospital,
hmm
and essentially, I prevented us from going
Well,
to Six
and it also
Flags.
was a weird. From what I remember, we were supposed to go the day before, and it started. We went on a couple of rides, but it started raining, and typically they don't close parks down just for raining. But there was lightning in the distance, and I guess because a lot of the rides are they can get struck by lightning, so they um
Right.
closed down the entire park, and so we had to leave. And we were only there for, I want to say we rode like maybe two or three rides, so we weren't there for a long time. And our parents were like, "Well, we'll just go tomorrow." And then Anthony ruined the day by getting his first asthma attack ever.
I don't know what happened. I guess it's just Alaska air is
Yeah, I
clear.
don't know.
Dallas shitty ass air cost me my lungs. So I'd love to just see a Osmosis Jones style movie of my lungs that time. specifically because like this is like a buddy cop movie, right?
Mhm.
I want like a horror. I want like the happening in my lungs, you know.
Mm.
But instead of air just like coming, obviously I have asthma attack. Air just leaves, and all of the um, cells just like force themselves to die. So
Jesus
that'd be fun.
Christ. Do you know what happened? Did you do some research on what happens to your body when you have an asthma attack?
So asthma is really it's just like overproduction of mucus and a constriction of your like lungs. Your
Mm,
lungs are just like tubes, I think, like
I don't know.
bronchial. I don't know something. So it just constricts, and a bunch of mucus is produced, so you can't breathe
Mhm.
out of it, and you just cough up a bunch of mucus. So that'd be fun to see animated.
So, who are the I don't know how much research you did about this, but who are the main characters in this other than you?
Definitely the mucus, or it could honestly be like Ghostbuster style, you know,
Mm.
like the Slimers are the mucus, and like there's
Just people cleaning it up, maybe?
yeah,
Okay.
or yeah, I don't know. I think it would be something like that where people just get squished because
Who
of
do
my
you want to
lungs.
cast in this movie? That's what I was getting at. Like,
Um,
who are the main players? Who are going to play them? Like, that kind of stuff.
right. Um, I think definitely. Well, I'd play myself.
Yes.
John Mulaney would be the head mucus,
Okay. That's perfect.
and to
I think there's
play
some white blood
my
cells in there, right?
yeah some white blood cells. Timothy Chalamet, obviously.
Okay, I don't know if that's obvious, but sure.
I don't know. The only movie is on my brain is Beautiful Boy because I saw that recently. I
Okay.
don't know.
Oh, the
I
mayor
can't think
could
of
be the
anything else to
mayor of.
watch.
Oh, what would you be though? What would they call you? Mark or Anthony? That's another thing.
They'd probably call me Anthony.
Mm. Maybe only the higher
Well,
ups can call you
right.
Anthony. But who's the mayor?
Yeah. Oh. The mayor would probably be Sterling K. Brown. Yeah, all of the cast that we mentioned
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
2 episodes ago
Fair enough.
would probably be in there. Dev Patel would probably be another mucus.
I think he'd be a good guy,
Uh,
no?
I'd want to see him as a villain though.
Mm. Okay.
So that's my movie. I don't know what it would be called. Bad lung. Asthmatics. The asthmatics.
Um,
Those are the white blood cells that are in my
a ruined
lungs.
day in Dallas or something like that.
Yeah. So that's what I would want. I would want to see that.
Sure, I
Partially
don't know
just to
anything
learn
about
what the hell
asthma.
asthma
Yeah.
is.
You don't know anything about asthma?
Like I mean, the only thing I know is what I said,
I think you see the only thing I know is that I have it.
and it's like it's just. I think the like comedic aspect would be that sometimes I just get asthma attacks out of nowhere. So it'd just be everyone
Mm.
in my body complaining, like, why the hell is he having an asthma attack from like cooking or something?
Or
Just
you know what?
ridiculous.
I mean, I from cooking. Or there could be like a different aspect of it of that they have. Oh, this is kind of dark, but they they have like a because you have maybe it's the first time you have asthma, so they're like, well, this is something we didn't prepare for. Like we have we have a plan for flu, we have a plan for the cold, we have a plan for everything, but asthma attacks, that's something new. And so maybe as you're adjusting to a person with asthma, they're adjusting to that like maybe some people because your lungs are all messed up that they like some people have to be because it seems like people like live in people like the characters in this movie live in so many different parts of his body that like people like your lungs are inhabitable. Like that's kind of dark,
Yeah,
but
they're the wastelands. They're the dead
or
zone
they're
or
like
something.
this is so bad because I keep remembering I'm talking about your body, but it's like places in America where they're like, well, you can live here, but this is prone to landslides, so your entire house can be wiped out. So it could be like that where like maybe people are fooled into living in your lungs, but then they don't know that their houses can be just destroyed.
You haven't seen Watchmen, right?
Not the show, no.
No. Okay. Well, I won't mention it.
Okay.
That'd be really funny.
There you go.
I like this movie. This is turning out to be quite the movie.
Yeah. I think it's
Amazing
especially
cast.
watching it now, I didn't realize how. Oh wait, I thought you were talking about Osmosis Jones. But yes, your movie would be good. Sorry.
No, the movie we made. So
See,
what would
this is
yours
your
be?
future. Is I'm listening, but like I don't hear you. No, it's I'm hear you, but I don't listen. But my
You
movie
didn't
would
retain
be.
anything.
I don't. I there's a few things I was thinking of, but I think the most recent one, and it kind of made me think of this when I was watching the movie because it is very like it's eerie how much like COVID would play into this. I didn't have COVID, but I would want to do a movie about my experience getting the vaccine
Mm. Oh.
because like kind of like how I was, like they know it's going to happen, like the characters in my body know that it's going to happen, but we just don't know exactly how bad it'll be. And so especially too, I wonder this is going to sound strange, but I wonder what changes because obviously this guy had a virus and like this one it's kind of like I had a virus but it's the vaccine, so it's like, just I don't know what that would mean, but anyways, how mental illness plays into this.
And a joke that I wrote was Osmosis Jones walks so Inside Out could run.
Yeah.
Because I think Inside Out is kind of that almost addendum to this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
it kind of answers that question. I mean, it's not like
not really though.
germs and stuff and brain stuff. Oh, you mean like a more physical, biological response
Yeah,
to
because
like
Inside Out is
okay,
about the emotions, right? But then
right,
how does that play into the physicality? Especially because at least my experience with mental illness has a lot to do with physicality. Has a lot to do with
right,
like chemicals, but also my brain being built different. So like does my body, just the inside of my body just looks different than other people's? Then how does that work into it? Is because I'm anxious all the time, are the characters in my body anxious too, or is it only a certain amount of them? Like
right.
I wonder how that plays into it. But what made me think I because I was kind of on like I was like had a couple of options when you told me this, but what made me want to do this was I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but that guy that was like an undercover virus because he was a flu shot virus.
Yeah.
Um basically that. Like I don't know. I don't know a lot about how I guess I should have looked it up. But I don't know a lot about how shots work, but I know that because of how strong of a reaction I had, that there was a huge like my immune system was fighting a big fight. They were overcorrecting in how they were trying
Big
to
war.
exactly. And I just want to see how that would go, especially because like I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how vaccines really work.
Yeah, especially because like the flu shot is different because it is like part of the flu,
Yeah.
but the COVID vaccine is completely different. It's
I've
like a
also
whole
just
different
and I've
process.
also never had a reaction like this. So I just want to know what happened in my body. And like, I think it'd be funny. I guess it would be more of an action of like them trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And um, yeah, because it felt like that. It felt like there was a war going on in my body and it was just trying to like fix me. Um, and what I imagine is maybe there was like a reconstruction, like maybe there was a renovation of something, like if there's a mayor's office, like maybe it's better now, like something like that.
Yeah, maybe there was just a quarantine. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
Everything was just shutting down.
Yeah, or maybe the movie would be a power struggle between my current immune system and whatever. I don't know if a vaccine it brings it brings something into you, right? So whatever those people
Oh, for
are,
sure.
like maybe there was a power struggle of who would be in charge because the new people are like, well, we can make sure that she doesn't fucking die. Like she might get sick, but she's not going to die. And they're like, yeah, but I think we can handle that. And they're like, well, she didn't trust you to do it, so that's why she got a shot. Like that kind of thing. And
I like
maybe
this.
maybe the mayor is like slightly anti-vax. He's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen when we have these new guys come in. And so maybe too, there's like the first vaccine, which was fine, and then the people there are like, we'll work with you. We'll
They've
yeah,
assimilated
they're like,
with
we won't take leadership roles, but we'll just like, just build a department for us. And this new people are like, no, we're fucking changing everything. Where, like it's a new management kind of situation, and there's a struggle. And the end is who won. And I don't know who, I mean, I haven't gotten sick, so I'm assuming the new administration is better. But yeah.
These are
Maybe it
quite the
would be a
movies.
political um drama.
Right.
But not in a maybe like a comedy though. Maybe like that movie The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
that kind.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Like they're both not great at running my body, but like you got to have one.
One of them punches a baby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
So
There you go.
that's a pretty good movie.
I'd say
I
so.
like these. Petition for Osmosis Jones 2 COVID edition
Or asthma.
or asthma.
There you go.
Either or. What do you got? What
All
do you got
right,
for
so we're
us?
just going to talk about the movie. I just did a deep dive of the movie itself. The first thing is one of my favorite fun facts I've ever found. I feel like I say this a lot, but this is truly amazing. So Warner Brothers feature animation, which made this movie, was in serious financial trouble during the film's production. And in 2000, it came down to two options. Either greenlight another film by Brad Bird, who made the critically acclaimed film The Iron Giant, or this film. Warner executives chose this film over Bird's, and upon learning that, Brad Bird got so mad that he took his film into Disney and Pixar instead. That film would become the highly successful Incredibles. They
Wow.
passed on The Incredibles for Osmosis Jones. No offense to this movie, but what the fuck were they thinking? Anyways, so that film, obviously, we know exactly what happened to it. Whereas this film bombed at the box office, was critically panned, and almost ultimately killed Warner Brothers feature animation.
I don't know why.
I mean, it did have what Sebastian brought to my attention that I don't think I ever knew this is that it had a spin-off show. Did you know that?
Osmosis Jones?
Yeah.
I did not.
A show called, I forgot what he said. It was like called Osmosis and Drix or something. Like the two main guys, the buddy cop, whatever, they had the show. Never seen
Good
it,
for
but
them.
interesting, I guess. All right. So, yeah, I'm just going to talk about the movie, go into some of the details, some of the references they have, talk a little bit about Thrax. So that's what just we're going to do in this section. So, first of all, this movie is just all in the details, and the details that a kid, I think me, the last time I'd seen this movie, I probably was like a teenager, I couldn't really appreciate. First being that Bill Murray is their god.
Mm-hmm.
And they do this in a lot of ways. They show this in a lot of ways. First, they say swear to Frank. Like every time they have some sort of reference to God, it's Frank, who's Bill Murray. And then I don't know if you caught this statue, but they have a statue of a sperm cell that can be seen, and it's labeled "Our Founder."
I didn't see that, but that's
I
hilarious.
forgot what part it is, but yeah, you can see that. It's kind of strange. Yeah, and then another thing that this isn't a fun fact I found, just something that I was thinking of, is how Frank is. I mean, he is essentially their god, right? He determines everything that happens in this world. He helps the mayor expand by gaining weight. I don't know if you remember his like comment that the mayor said, where he's like, "Well, we are in construction on a third chin or something like that." He brings in reinforcements when he takes meds, so he's the reason that they have Drix there is because he took a cold med. Um, and he unfortunately does also bring the virus into his body, so um he's responsible for everything that happens within this body. And another thing that I was thinking of, I guess a question that I had, is what happens when he dies?
I guess they did too. I don't know. They're very self-aware, like just that they're in a human's body. They're like their whole purpose is to just keep
Yeah.
him alive. I feel like if humans on Earth found out that they were just like in a dust particle off of some alien teenager's like shoe or whatever, we would, as a society, we would crumble. But they're like thriving.
I mean, yeah, that's all they know though.
That's true. But I guess when he dies, they die.
All right, so next let's talk about the references. There's many in this movie. First is something called the Wilhelm scream. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, it's in like a lot of
Yeah.
movies, like tons.
Exactly. So it's heard when Thrax, after kidnapping Leah, hijacks a vehicle and throws out the driver. I think the driver is the one that screams. So the Wilhelm scream is a stock sound effect that has been used in a number of films and TV series, beginning in 1951 with the film Distant Drums. The scream is usually used when someone is shot, falls from a great height. So, like in this movie, he falls from his car, or is thrown from an explosion. The sound is named after Private Wilhelm, a character in The Charge at Feather River, a 1953 Western in which the character gets shot in the thigh with an arrow. This was its first use following its inclusion in the Warner Brothers stock sound library. Although The Charge at Feather River is believed to have been the third film to use the effect, the scream is believed to be voiced by actor Sheb Woolley, which is a great name.
It's quite an iconic scream. Do you think you could do it?
I can't even remember what it sounded like.
Really? It's like a ah. In my brain, that sounded perfect, but I know it doesn't.
Ah! That's what you did.
Yeah,
There you go. Maybe you can insert it right now. Ugh.
there you go. I'll
Music to
actually
my ears.
beautiful. I loved it.
You actually what? Just put your scream into it?
No. Put the scream over my scream so it'll sound like
Like you did it?
perfect.
Do it.
Yeah, just
All right, so the next one, which is this is kind of a rabbit hole that I went down into. But earlier in the movie, Thrax is called La Muerte Roja, which is the Red Death, which from a germ that is unexplainably just speaks Spanish. I don't know why that
this
happened.
ain't this ain't Telemundo.
Yeah, very strange. So that is the name of the killer plague in Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Mask of Red Death. I don't know if you read this. I think I had to read this in English. It's
No,
interesting.
I never read it.
Well, you don't have to because I'm going to tell you what happens, kind of. So, The Mask of Red Death, originally published as The Mask of Red Death, a fantasy, is a short story by American writer Edgar Allan Poe, and it was first published in 1842. The story follows Prince Prospero's attempts to avoid a dangerous plague known as the Red Death by hiding in his abbey. He, along with many other wealthy nobles, hosts a masquerade ball in 7 rooms of the abbey, each decorated with a different color. In the midst of their revelry, a mysterious figure disguised as a Red Death victim, enters and makes his way through each of the rooms. Prospero dies after confronting this stranger, whose costume proves to contain nothing tangible inside of it. The guests also die in turn. So this brought me to go
Hmm.
down a very interesting rabbit hole that I'll go into a little bit later, but basically, while Poe was not a fan of this kind of symbolism, his work does utilize color in a very interesting way. So blood emphasized through the tail along with the color red serves as a dual symbol representing both death and life. This is emphasized by the masked figure, never explicitly stated to be the Red Death, but only a reveler in the costume of the Red Death, making his initial appearance in the easternmost room, which is colored blue, a color most often associated with birth. And so the reason that I'll revisit this with my next topic, but the reason I wanted to include this is to keep in mind that Thrax is distinctly red while Osmosis is blue. And
True.
if you think about this too, the red and blue is in a lot of movies, like in The Matrix, which I'll talk about a little bit later, with the red and blue pill. The other thing I could think about is a lot of posters. If you look at a lot of movie posters for Star Wars, especially,
Hmm.
um, it's the good and evil is,
Lightsabers.
yeah, exactly. There you go. The next is that the song that Thrax keeps humming throughout the movie is a song called Fever by Peggy Lee, which I thought was funny. And in the climactic fight scene between Ozzy and Thrax, the camera briefly freezes and rotates around them, a la The Matrix. This is a fun fact because Thrax is voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, who played Morpheus. And it's also referenced within his own outfit. His outfit is similar to Morpheus's, which is a long coat, like a black trench coat basically, and tiny little sunglasses.
Yeah, those sunglasses.
And he looks so goddamn cool, Thrax.
Oh
The
yeah.
last thing I thought was cool is whenever he visits the armpit, which is such a disgusting place. It's very Godfather-esque, especially the guy that's in there, the fungus, whatever he is. So they have the music that's playing in the background is the theme to The Godfather.
I forgot how disgusting this movie was.
Hmm.
I was
No,
like,
I knew exactly how
I watched.
disgusting this movie was.
I forgot. It was pretty
Like
gross.
the
A lot
pimple
of it.
scene,
Oh, the pimple, the throw up,
disgusting.
just the egg.
Yeah, the egg. All right, and so let's close this topic by talking about. Oh no, not we're not closing it. Sorry, but let's talk about the design of Frank himself. So this served in two ways. The first being it's a great way to create some really funny jokes. So if you look at the background, they have a lot of really funny sight gags, which are signs mostly. Some of them reading rectum, exit only, slow, sore throat, ulcer repair, and danger, open nerve. Those are just a few that I noted. And in the original, oh, this is one that I think was cut, but in the original script, in the early cuts of the film, a scene was featured where Osmosis and Drix go to a place called Gonad's Gym. And it involved them taking or talking to the exercising sperm cells. The scene was cut in order to stay family friendly. The Gonad Gym's logo does appear on Drix's suitcase during a scene in the police station locker room, if you look at it.
That's
But yeah, very funny.
funny.
And the last thing is that the stomach is the arrival area. And it has an emergency puke button, which we see during that puking scene, like you talked about.
Gross.
Yeah. So those are just a few things. And also it's very accurate in a lot of ways. First is when the mayor looks through Frank's eyes. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's floaters. So basically spots in his vision that look like black or gray specks or strings that drift across the eyes and are visible in the corners of his vision. I have floaters and I have a lot of
I've
them.
had those.
Yeah, and so I never noticed this, but I just felt very seen with this detail.
That's interesting.
And lastly, is something that we talked about. When they need help to figure out what the fuck Thrax is up to, they go to a virus, and Drix is like, "Why are we going to this guy? Like, he's gross." But Osmosis says like he's an undercover virus. He actually came from a flu shot, so that was funny.
Shout out. Shout out the flu.
Lastly, let's talk about Thrax himself. So I want to talk about his plan, but also him as a virus. So although Thrax is considered to be a dangerous virus, it's never clarified throughout the film what type he is. The general consensus that I found, although there's a lot of discourse in this, surprisingly, is that he is Scarlet Fever. Another thing that's interesting about
Right.
his name is that he obviously sounds like anthrax. I don't know a lot about anthrax, but I know it's highly deadly. Um, yeah. But the scariest part to me of this movie that I forgot is when he starts to reveal what his plan is. So the first thing is when his one of his
Mm.
followers is like very unimpressed. He's like, "So we're just gonna have him give him a sore throat and a stuffy nose? Like, what the fuck does I don't understand." And he's like, "Well, like, yeah, but that's only the start of it. Like, I want it to look like he has a common cold." Which just reminded me so much of COVID, which was so scary. Like how close it looks to the allergies, which is like common allergies, common cold, and then the flu. It's very
And
terrifying.
then bam, out of nowhere.
Exactly. And then it just like
Well, not out of nowhere, but it
seemingly
the
out of
symptoms
nowhere.
are all the same. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so similar. And that's what was so scary about last year. I mean, this year too, but last year when we knew virtually nothing about it, just like I have really bad allergies. I know you do too. And so just every day I thought I had COVID just because of my allergies. And then he reveals this fucking I forgot about this necklace thing, these beads that
Mm,
keeps track of all the people he's killed. And he even had a kid in there. And he was like
yeah.
bragging about it. Like it was fucking scary. And he's also another, I guess, fun fact, but what kind of tracks with this is he's considered to be one of the most evil and nasty villains in the Warner Brothers animated franchise, alongside both, how do you say that? Jax? Jacques?
Jacques.
Jacques? There you go. Jacques and the evil entity from Scooby Doo. Blah, blah, blah. But
Which,
basically, so the reason that
well,
he. Sorry?
which is crazy because he's the tiniest.
Exactly. But he does the most damage. But basically, unlike the other, well, the reason that he's considered the most dangerous or the most evil and nasty is because unlike the other villains, they do have some sort of redeeming qualities. Like, Looney Tunes. I don't know what Merry Melodies is, but that's listed. And also DC. Like, sometimes these have some sort of not only redeeming qualities, but they also have some sort of comedic traits. He has none of these. He's purely evil. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. And that's just the end of my deep dive of Osmosis Jones and how
What?
it made me real doing all of this made me like it a little bit more.
Of course,
Yeah.
as it has nothing but redeeming qualities. And
It's a very technical movie
I,
if you think about it.
I love this movie so much, and it just this one. This isn't the first time we've talked about a 2000s movie,
Hmm.
but it just I want to give an ode to 2000s animated films.
Okay.
There's so many out there. I just want to highlight some that are the greatest of all time. I mean, we of course we have Osmosis
Hmm.
Jones. We have robots that we've covered. We have Over the Hedge. Are you kidding me? Over the Hedge?
I think I've seen it like once maybe.
Ridiculous. Monsters vs. Aliens,
Hmm.
which we've covered. Meet the Robinsons. If you can think of any too. But I'm just gonna start naming some because
Okay.
these are my favorite. Back at the barnyard with Shrek, of
Oh
course.
yeah, can't forget.
SpongeBob. That one. All of these are my childhood, and that's why I feel like they're my favorite.
Yeah.
Just that nostalgia, but also give me any decade of animated movies. The 2000s would wash them out immediately.
Whoa.
2010s, the 90s. Like I know I trashed on 90s, late 90s rom-coms. So I have to give mad props to 2000s, early 2000s animated
Wow.
films. Wally. I mean, there's so many. I could go on and on. Happy Feet is like Chicken Little. Oh my goodness.
Are there
I'm
any
gonna cry.
movies I need a moment. Are there any movies that have come close to that? Like recent ones?
From from recent memory, no, no. I mean, Soul is good, but it's just hard to beat that like childhood. I'm looking at more Shark Tale. Like there will never be another
What
Shark
do you think
Tale.
what's the element that what is the one thing that you think keeps those at your top tier? Like there has to be something about those, right? Is it the type of animation? Is it the type of stories they were telling?
I think it's the type of stories, and maybe if they did it now, it would just kind of be overplayed because these were the blueprint.
Mhm.
But it's just like
So
it's
are
just a
you
mix
saying that
of
Osmosis Jones is better than Inside Out?
100%.
Oh.
It's the blueprint.
Okay, but that
Like
doesn't
I
mean
said,
it's better though.
it walked so Inside Out could run. But yes, it is better. It's more disgusting. It's funnier.
Okay.
Sure,
Did it make
it
you
doesn't talk
cry?
about mental health. It did. How beautiful it is.
Okay.
It's just hard to beat. I mean, a large part of it is because I grew up watching these, but it's just the comedy mixed with like just the feel good aspect of it.
The cast
You
was
know,
good too.
the
Solid
what?
the solid cast in these 90s movies.
Oh yeah,
Interesting. I want
absolutely
you to do,
ridiculous.
that TikTok trend where that guy's like, what's your favorite historical domino effect?" You should do Osmosis Jones to
Jones,
something.
Inside Out.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I mean, I even animated like Batman Beyond. It's just I had Flushed Away, which
Oh
I
my
made you
god.
watch, which you can agree is made you laugh.
Once,
Surfs
literally
Up.
once it made me laugh.
How could I forget Surfs
There you
Up?
go.
Yeah, Incredible. Did I say Incredibles? The one
Mhm.
that moved to Disney instead of Warner Bros. I mean,
There you
I could go on and on, but I think just go watch all of these movies.
go.
It's perfect.
All right, do you want to wrap up with mine? This
Let's
might
do it.
be just me talking at you, but if you have any sort of thing to add,
Go for it.
then you go for it. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the psychology of color in film specifically. And sometimes a color is just a color. I just want to say that, like, just because a director or whoever puts a certain color in a film doesn't mean that it actually means something. But it can most of the time be used intentionally to tell the audience what they should be feeling or to just set a scene. And most of the meanings do depend on the context that they're being used in. But here are some examples based on generally what these colors mean. So, first, red. Red is intense, it shows anger and danger, like the scene in Ex Machina where Ava cuts out the power to tell, I forgot that guy's name, but to basically ask him for help. Caleb? Yes, to ask Caleb for help. It can also show passion, like when Theo Twombly wears a red shirt to express that he's in love in her. That's all of red. Orange is warmth. It's the bonfire that you can almost feel when you watch a portrait of a lady on fire. It can also be the emptiness, like the desert road in Mad Max, or when Matt Damon gets left behind on Mars and has to start a new world. Yellow is happiness and relaxation. It can also be idyllic, like two children running away from home to start a new life on the beach in Moonrise Kingdom. A
There you
thing
go.
about the hell's his name? Wes Anderson
Wes Anderson.
is he uses a lot of these colors. I think we talked about this when we talked about Wes Anderson, but to me, a lot of his color or a lot of his movies have certain colors. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox is orange to me, like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Green is a new beginning. So like when Sandra Bullock lands on Earth in Gravity, but it can also be the chosen color of evil, like Maleficent or Voldemort, who must not be named. Blue is introspection. It's Truman walking up the stairs to figure out what kind of life he wants to live. It's Juan teaching Chiron how to swim in and out of the ocean. And then pink, lastly, there's a lot of other colors, obviously, but these are the only ones that I had examples for. Pink is femininity. It's wearing pink on Wednesdays just because you can. It's Jay's purity in It Follows as she struggles to rid herself of the monster that follows her day and night. So all these colors have such specific meanings and I guess connotations when you put them in movies. And the big example of that is I sometimes I research some of these, but for most of them, when I saw Green is a New Beginning, then I knew exactly what example I should be pulling from. So that's a very interesting thing about movies and something that you should look at the next time you watch a movie is the specific colors that they're choosing and how they're trying to for lack of a better term manipulate you into feeling a certain way when you're watching a movie. So, there you go. This movie, what do you think, Anthony? I mean, it is very, especially in animated movies, it's very distinct in its usage of red and how every time he touches something, it turns from whatever color it is in to a red, like in his dream. The dream is like it's kind of like an orange tint, right? It's like a yellowish orange tint. And then as soon as
Right.
he gets into the frame, it turns more red. And that's when Osmosis knows that he's still alive. So colors are so big in especially animated movies or Inside Out, whenever every single emotion has a specific color associated with it. It's just so many
I love
fun
this movie.
ways to use colors, and it can be overwhelming when you're making a movie to think of these specific colors because there's so many things that you can be doing. But I think when you break it down into its most simple parts, it's easy to make a movie that works for you and that works for the story you're trying to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of follows into place.
Yeah. There you go.
What a great movie. I'm glad I made myself watch it. Made us all watch it.
Hmm. Chill out a little bit. All I know is I want to go to that wing festival. Another fun fact,
I know they never made it.
another fun fact though is that never existed until after this movie.
Oh, so it exists
Yeah,
now?
because of the movie.
Right on.
There you go.
You know math. Do the possibilities or whatever
What the
he says.
hell? What?
because he's like 98 types of
Oh,
wings,
yeah.
128 sauces. You're good at math. It's an infinite amount of
There you go.
possibilities.
Ugh, that
Infinite
made me
amount
think
of
of his
love.
ingrown toenail. All right.
Oh,
That's a perfect way to close this.
and cut to the family tree.
All right. Who do you got?
I have Lawrence Fishburne.
God damn you. I got Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear. All right, 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Okay, so I came up with nothing. So the only thing I had was Lawrence Fishburne, Matrix, Keanu Reeves, and then I was gonna go Keanu Reeves, Randall Park
Ooh,
with Always Be My Maybe,
same. Or I was
but then
going
I
to,
I,
but
I couldn't get Greg Kinnear. Like I knew I was gonna use either Tina Fey or Amy Poehler and Baby Mama, but I had it was gonna take way too long to get. I was gonna do like WandaVision
oh, you could do what
because
you could
Randall
also. Oh
Parks
yeah, I bet I could do that
or Ant Man. Oh, I could have easily.
You could do it right now.
I
Do it
just
right
thought
now.
of it. Okay, Randall Park is in Ant Man
With
with Paul Rudd,
uh-huh.
and Paul Rudd is in Parks and Recreation with Amy Poehler,
Mhm.
who is in Baby Mama with Greg Kinnear.
How many
How
is
much is
that?
that?
Oh.
I didn't write it down. Hold on. Ant
So
Man,
wait.
Paul.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Lawrence Fishburne, Keanu
That's
Reeves.
one.
That's one. Matrix. Keanu Reeves, Randall Park, Always Be My Baby. That's two. Randall Park, Ant Man with Paul Rudd. Three. Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler, Parks and Rec. That's four. Amy Poehler, Greg Kinnear, Baby
Ooh, I
Mama,
have
five.
it in 4 if I did it correctly.
Damn you, bro.
All right. There's one I need you to check. But Lawrence Fishburne is in The Matrix with Keanu Reeves.
That is true.
This is one I need you to check. Keanu Reeves is in John Wick 3. I don't know if that has a subtitle.
I
Is
think
there
it
a John
does.
Wick
Let me
3?
look. There is. Can you? Well, it,
Is
it
there
is the third part of John Wick, but there's like
John Wick Chapter 3?
okay,
Is it?
there's another part to it.
Chapter after
Chapter
that?
3.
The Reckoning.
No,
I don't
you're
know.
not gonna get it.
Okay. But I also don't even know if this guy's in it, but I think Jason Mantzoukas is in it? Or is he in 2?
Oh, I don't see him.
He might be in 2. I probably fucked this up. You probably won.
Dang, I think I did.
I think Jason Mantzoukas is in one of them. Maybe he's in 2.
I'm not seeing him in any. Oh no, he is in
Let me
John Wick
see.
3.
He's okay. What is it
Yeah, he's
called?
John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Oh my god. That's why. Just John Wick 3. Why not? Okay, anyways. Well, it would have worked if I got that correctly, but so Jason Mantzoukas is in Parks and Rec with Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler's in Baby Mom with Greg Kinnear.
Wait, I didn't even get mine right either.
What do you mean? What did you say?
Randall Park isn't in Ant Man. He's not in Ant Man.
What is he in? The Wasp and whatever?
Ant Man. No, he's in. I think Avengers. One of the Avengers.
He's not in Ant Man? He's in Ant Man. He is.
He's in, not in the first one. I don't think.
God, we suck.
Ant Man, maybe in the Wasp.
I'm looking at Randall Parks. IMDb.
Yeah, so am I. I think he's in Ant Man and the Wasp.
Damn, he's not in Ant Man?
He's in Ant Man and the Wasp, the second one.
Wow. Dang, you suck.
Dang, we need a tiebreaker.
All right. I think last
'Cause we
time
both
we
lost.
asked Sebastian, so we can ask Kayla.
Okay. Let me go get her. I don't know where she is. Okay, so I have consulted our producer, and she has chosen Anna Kendrick.
Oh my god.
So
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Wait,
say.
write it down.
Oh, I wrote mine down already. Very fast with it.
Fuck. God damn it.
Think about it. Pitch Perfect, Pitch Perfect 2,
Oh.
Pitch Perfect 3.
All right.
I knew I knew there was no way you were gonna get Parabellum.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
I chose mine.
Same.
I
How old?
said 33.
Ooh, I said 34.
Oh,
I'm scared.
Anna
Are you gonna look it up?
Kendrick. Yeah, you can look it up too if you want. Ah,
How old is she?
dang. She's 35.
Fuck
Wow.
you.
That was close though.
Oh man.
Au- August 9th, 1985. Wow. Well, what am I watching, I guess?
I was gonna say I was gonna say Tenet, but no, because you're already gonna watch it.
Do it, do it.
I dare you.
A double dog.
Okay. Do you want an older or a newer movie? Or older, or it's not newer as in it came out this year, but like,
Uh, Older.
all right, you're gonna watch The Bodyguard.
Okay.
So Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner. I feel like you don't have a lot of knowledge about romantic movies. I was gonna say
Sure.
comedy, but it's not really a comedy. And I don't know. I need you to see more.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I think you'll like this one. It's got some good music, good story. It's classic. I guess I could have chosen it for um one of our movies, but I'm not, and that brings me to our my pick of the week.
Yes, what is it?
All right, so we're gonna watch one that our sister has been requesting probably since we started this podcast, but we're gonna watch another classic that neither of us have seen called A Clockwork Orange on Netflix.
I've heard quite a bit about it.
Yeah.
Excited to watch it.
I've heard some stuff about it, but I don't have no idea what it's about.
Me neither.
Yeah, excited to finally see it. See what the hype is about and if it's real.
Cool.
That's it.
Clockwork. That's perfect.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.